Junction transistor. In 1947, J. Barden and W. H. Brattain of Bell Telephone Laboratories in USA first invented a transistor called point contact transistor. So first transistor is your point contact transistor. In 1951, William Shockley invented the junction transistor consisting of two back-to-back PN junctions. So junction transistor was invented by William Shockley in 1951. Over the years, new types of transistor were invented. For example, now we are using new transistors like FET, JFET, field effect transistor, junction field effect transistor, MOSFET, etc. So to differentiate the junction transistor from the new transistors, the junction transistor is now called bipolar junction transistor. So when we say transistor, it means bipolar junction transistor. A transistor has three doped regions forming two PN junctions between them. So there are two PN junctions in a transistors and there are three doped regions. One is called emitter, the second doped region is called base, and the third doped region is called the collector. So there are two types of transistors we basically use, or junction transistors or bipolar junction transistor we use. One is your NPN transistor, another one is your PNP transistor. So what is a NPN transistor? The transistor in which one P-type semiconductor is placed between two N-type semiconductors, it is called a NPN transistor. Now let us see the schematic representation and the symbol of NPN transistor. You see, this is the schematic representation of NPN transistor. So two PN junctions are doped to form NPN transistor. This is your emitter, this is your base, and this is your collector. The size of the emitter is small than the size of the collector. That means the size of the collector is large in comparison to the size of emitter and the base. And basically the NPN transistor consists of three doped regions. One is emitter, collector, and base. You see, this is the symbol for the NPN transistor. This is your N, this is P, and this is N, and this is your emitter, and this is your base, and this is your collector. In NPN transistor, you see the arrow mark is out from this baseline. Why this arrow mark is outward, we will discuss later on. Then PNP transistor, the transistor in which one N-type semiconductor is placed between two P-type semiconductors, it is called PNP transistor. We will see the schematic representation and the symbol for PNP transistor. You see, this is the schematic representation for the PNP transistor. Two PN junctions are doped. So there are two PN junctions. You see here one PN junction, here another PN junction. So this is your emitter, this is your base, and this is your collector. And you see this is the symbol for the PNP transistor. Here the arrow is inward. Why the arrow is inward, we will see later. We will discuss in later. And this is your base, this is your emitter, and this is your collector. Now let us discuss what is emitter. Emitter is a segment on one side of the transistor. It is of moderate size and heavily doped. Its supply is a large number of majority carriers for the current flow through the transistor. Then what is base? Base is the central segment it is very thin and lightly doped. Then what is collector? Collector is a segment which is on opposite side of the emitter. The size of the collector is large as compared to the size of the emitter. Collector, why it is collector? Because it collects a major portion of the majority carriers supplied by the emitter. Now let us discuss how to identify the emitter, base and collector pins in a transistor. To identify the pins, you have to keep the front flat side facing towards you and count the pins as 1, 2, 3. In most NPN transistors, 1 is your collector, 2 is your base and 3 is your emitter. So thus we say that it is CBE. But in PNP transistors, the conditions will be just reverse. That is, 1 is your emitter, 2 is your base and 3 is your collector. Thus you may say EBC. Now we will discuss how in BC548 NPN transistor we will identify the collector, base and emitter. So you see, this is your BC548 NPN transistor. So there are 3 pins, pin 1, pin 2, pin 3, because the flat surface is towards you. So when the flat surface is towards you, then you count number of pin here 1, 2, 3, and pin number 1 is will be your collector, and 2 will be your base, and 3 will be your emitter. If it is a PNP transistor, you count this as emitter. 1 will be your emitter, 2 will be your base, 3 will be your collector. But if you have a transistor like BC107, you see, this is your BC107, you have a projecting edge. You see, you have a projecting edge. The projecting edge, you see the projecting edge, and the pin which is at the projecting edge of the transistor, this is your emitter. Okay, the projecting edge in the transistor indicates your emitter, and the base is nearest to the emitter, while the collector lies at the extreme end. Here you may see the collector. Suppose you see, this is your, you see the projecting edge. So the pin which is near the projecting edge, this is your emitter, then you have base, then you have collector. So in this way you can identify the pins. Then we should know what is the basic function of a transistor. The basic function of a transistor is that transistor acts as an amplifier. It amplifies the input signal. And the second application of transistor or function of transistor, it acts as a switch. So transistor acts as an amplifier and transistor acts as a switch. Here we will discuss how transistor acts as an amplifier. Transistor transfers a signal from a low resistance to a high resistance. So basically the input of the transistor is forward bias and the output of the transistor is reverse bias. Forward bias means the resistance is low. Reverse bias means reverse bias means the resistance is high. So when a signal passes from a low resistive path to a high resistive path, it gets amplified. That means the strength of the signal increases. When the transistor is biased in this way, that means the input is forward bias and the output is reverse bias, it is said to be in active state. Now we will see the circuit diagram for the biasing of the transistor. This is the circuit diagram of a PNP transistor, and this is the input, this is the emitter, this is the base, and this is the collector. So we have a battery here, VEE. This is the battery for the forward biasing of the PN junction. You see, P is connected to the positive terminal and N is connected to the negative terminal. So the PN junction is forward bias. And you see in this case, here the P is connected to the negative terminal and N is connected to the positive terminal. So the output is reverse bias. So, and here you see the majority carrier in the P-type semiconductor is hole. Here the majority carrier is electron and here the majority carrier is hole. And this is the VCC. VCC means the biasing voltage, DC biasing voltage. Here CC stands for the DC power supply voltage. When you will see double letter C, C or E like this will be the power supply voltage, DC power supply voltage. And here IB is the base current. And here EB is the emitter base voltage and CB is the collector base voltage and IC is the collector current and IE is the emitter current. Similarly, this is the circuit diagram for the NPN transistor biasing, and this is the forward biasing of the NP junction. You see N is connected to the negative terminal, P is connected to the positive terminal. So it is forward bias. The input is forward bias. The output, that is N is connected to positive and P is connected to negative. So it is reverse bias. And you see here VCC is the biasing voltage, output biasing voltage, and your VEE input biasing voltage. You also IB base current, and here VEB base emitter base voltage, VCB collector base voltage, IC collector current, and IE is your emitter current. And this is a common base connection. Here base is common to emitter as well as collector. Now let us discuss about the transistor action. The heavily doped emitter has a high concentration of majority carriers. These majority carriers enter the base region in large numbers. But the base collector junction is reverse bias, so the minority carrier at the junction can easily cross the junction and enter the collector. Because in the reverse bias, the minority carrier current flows due to the minority carrier, and in forward bias, the current flows due to the majority carriers. And it is very interesting to note that due to forward bias, a large current enters to the emitter base junction. Most of the current is diverted to the adjacent reverse bias base collector junction. The current coming out of the base is a very small fraction of the current. So you see, whether it is forward bias or reverse, whether it is PNP or NPN, the current coming from the emitter to the base, most of the current it flows through to the collector, and very small amount of current will pass through the base as base current. In NPN also same thing happen. The emitter current, the current coming from the emitter to the base will flow from base to the collector. Most of the current flow from the base to the collector, and very small current will flow through to the base. And always we give the direction of the current in accordance with the conventional rule, that is the current flow from positive to negative. Since the input is your forward bias, that is base emitter junction is forward bias, IH let IH is equal to the whole current and IE is equal to the electron current. Then the total current in the forward bias in the diode, because it is a PN junction, that is equal to the sum of the whole current plus the electron current. So emitter current IE is equal to the whole current plus the electron current. But the base current IB is very less than the sum of the whole current plus the electron current. And applying Kirchhoff's law, we get the total emitter current is equal to the collector current plus the base current. But practically the base current is very small, so you may take IE, that is the emitter current, is equal to the collector current. So in transistor action, these two things we must take into account, that is the total current coming from the emitter, that is equal to the sum of the hole current plus the electron current, and the base current is very very less than the total current due to the hole and electron, and the emitter current is equal to the sum of the collector current and base current. So this principle will be used in the further transistor applications. In the next video we will discuss how you identify a PNP and NPN transistor. Thank you.